I am searching for something that is lost. Eyes of this generation have never caught a glimpse. I am looking for a gentleman. This temptation walked among us over 50 years ago. Please tell me if you have seen one. Not too many fishies left swimming in the sea. I haven't gotten a bite in a long time. Keep your eyes open for one that holds doors, dresses like Malcolm X. He has fine shoe-shine shoes, but looks like Marvin Gaye in the young years he does. Lips kiss hands when he greets, runs red lights just to cross to your end of the street, and speaks ever so softly. Excuse me, miss. I would just like to take the time to tell you that you are beautiful, and my eyes just could not look away from your face once they saw you. Well, I hope we meet again someday. This man is quite a gentle one. How I wish that one would just nibble on my line. I'm not thirsty. I'm just selectively selecting. Don't you see my bottle full of ice-cold water? How many more worms must I kill before I get the thrill of a polite, polished, gallant, refined young man? Too many for me to count. This is not who I am. I am not a killer. I'm just trying to continue the circle of life for us. We need these men to survive. We live and thrive and survive on the words that tell us every so often, I love you. Music to our ears. Their speeches are spoken from their lips, but they are born in their souls. They ain't too proud to beg for our love, and they will ask us on your knee, will you accompany me? And this is when you will begin the search for the gentle one we call gentleman.
10 ways that a wallflower will rule the world eventually. 1. We've been looking fun in the eye for too long, so we will approach it and say that you do not intimidate us anymore. You're just as small as a fish away from its school or a person away from its posse. There's no need to impress those who know your mask better than you do, too. We will stop apologizing for nervously laughing, blushing, stuttering on our words, and overall being uncomfortable wherever we are. We are misplaced creatures in the midst of your strange social kingdom. We are an awkward people. This is what we do. 3. We will kindly ask that you stop telling us we break out of our shell when you were the ones who made our shell in the first place. When we are ready, we will blossom, not break. 4. Our small amount of friends is not a disadvantage. We selectively choose who we want to see our full selves. I've learned that the more people you share yourself with, the less yourself you become. 5. We will not stop trying. We're scared, and we're constantly warned that moving into places you were meant to stay out of can be as dangerous as playing with a razor and nerve-triggering words, and we've watched people kill themselves when they haven't played the game right. We know what we're getting ourselves into, and we will not stop trying. 6. The dance floor will no longer be an introvert's exile. The joint-to-joint colonization of chemically confined heartbeat bodies will convince us that our movements will make change larger than any politician could. Our revolution will begin when purple-dimmed rooms full of hormones and perspiration is not a death threat anymore. 7. We will move 5 steps from the back of the classroom and 5 steps closer to you knowing that, yes, we can talk and we have worthwhile ideas. My brain was birthed from the seed of daydreamed eye and grows prisms that reach clouds when the sky is too tired of being the limit. But because my expectations do not exceed coughing, sneezing, and breathing too loud, I sit shackled beneath doodled notebooks and window panes because the gray yawns and riddled sighs of my classmates speak louder than a cricket's billow begging for something. So when a question is asked that I have an answer to, I will half-phrase, hide my hand, and when I speak, my voice will crack like a vase holding too many daffodils, and my cheeks will blush golden. My elbows will knock like knees carrying bladders bearing unbearable fourth-period piss, and every person in this room will hear what I have to say. 8. We see everything. When you laugh, we know, and you'll stop. 9. We're willing to forgive. When you make us cry, we know why. And there's nothing we can express to make you apologize because you don't know you're doing it. You're daggers, with a smile on your face. An outstretched hand that isn't supposed to be held. We understand. 10. We will stop being bystanders when there's not enough action done. When the average person can't create avalanche and the spirit of a question becomes the parable of a noose and the death of a generation becomes prayer, it is time we take the first step. We will break out of every comfort zone, open your eyes, and make you learn the hard way. And like seeing the other side of a mirror for the first time or telling a crush you're in love with them, we will be introduced with a bang and stay with the shimmer. Some of us won't finish school, but will reinvent lives. Most of us never needed school in the first place. Some of us will go down in history, and some of us won't be remembered at all, and that's okay. Because we will all speak, we will do, we will change, and all of us can rule the world, eventually.
Yes! Bed sheets like winding sheets. I am lying dead in my underwear. Limbs splayed at angles, unnatural, bloated white lips beaten senseless, eyes wide open, refusing to shut until I have slipped into myself for the last time. I didn't know I wanted it, but apparently he knew. That my nose meant yes, and my stops meant please, more, please, no more. I'm sorry that I had a few drinks. If my shorts were too short, it's because I didn't know the measure of my inseam was a basis of my self-worth. 6 inches, you're prude. 5, you're conservative. 4, you're frumpy. 3, you're risky. 2, you're frisky. And 1, well, by 1 inch, you're just asking for it. He taught me that I am woman. And I am woman, hear me moan. Bite back my dignity from slipping through my clenched jaws. Squeeze shut my sanity from leaking from the corners of my corneas that have been burned with the image of your nakedness. We were 2. He made us 1, to the point where I wanted to be nothing but a white stain on car seats. I wish the boa constrictor of a seatbelt had strangled me that night, instead of his dirty, calloused hands enfolding across my throat, knowing just when to let go so we could breathe, raspy together, breathe stale cigarette breath from his lips into mine, forming a two-way highway of moans, sobs, and choking wheezes. He left my spread legs, broken, battered, beaten, unable to walk, past the eyes of those who glared at me as if I had a sign plastered across my chest that read, I'm a teasing whore. I used to be a virgin. He took that from me, along with my fiancé, who left me when he found out, said he felt like I cheated on him. He left me with my arms twisted behind my back. From the night in that white van, my hands were never untied. From the night in that white van, my hands were never untied. I never had the chance to relax my muscles, always stiff in the preconception of unwanted threats, juts, and penetrations. A man with a knife lurking behind every corner. He caught me when I was least expecting it, you see. I was walking out of the club in heels too high for my gangly legs. He struck, dragged me into the darkness, shoved a towel down my throat. I cried out. He whispered needle words from the back of his throat into my ear. Doll, don't be delicate. That's not the only thing you'll be swallowing tonight. He wasn't done with me quickly. But once decades passed in the backseat of his van, he rolled me unconscious into the street and drove off. I'd never seen his face. I didn't need to. I'd recognize those hairy arms and gruff voice anywhere. He was a man. I've been told I'm too prejudiced. They say I can't hold the whole gender accountable for the actions of one. I never said I did. But I can no longer sit pretty in the presence of a male because testosterone is like poison invading my veins. I've been told I should be thankful to be alive. Be grateful. He only used that knife against your throat to stifle the threat of a scream. A thrust from his knife would have been welcomed, as his warm mask constraining my body to the back seat murdered me that night. And no one seems to understand that I am a walking corpse.